So for the continuation of chapter 1, we will discuss now management accounting. So last time na-discuss na natin yung management, na-discuss natin yung strategic cost management, and now let's discuss management accounting. So strategic cost management is a component of management accounting. So ano bang ginagawa natin sa management accounting? Management accounting is the use of accounting information to serve as a primary tool for the internal users. Take note of that. Ang main users ng management accounting are internal users. So, isa yan sa difference niya with financial accounting. Si management accounting internal users, si financial accounting are external users. Of the accounting information, also to make decisions that would add value to the betterment of the entity. Kasi kahit naman sa external users, ang use ng accounting for information is to make decisions, tama. Pero iba-iba ang decisions kada users. Diba? Ginagamit nila accounting information in deciding on something depending on the need sa users. But for management accounting, ang primary gagamit ng accounting information are internal users. So the four major objectives of management accounting are, number one, providing managers with information for decision making and planning. So na-discuss na natin yan nung nakaraan. Nasabi nga natin that those accounting information or even the cost information will be used for decision making and planning. So also, we are the ones assisting managers in directing and controlling operations. So involved tayo sa directing and controlling. So una, 'di ba? Si planning, si leading, si organizing. Si planning, si organizing, si leading, tsaka si controlling. Then after, diniscuss natin si decision making. So kung mapapansin nyo, pasok lahat yung management accounting doon sa mga functions. Halos sa lahat ng mga functions, 'di ba? Una yung decision making and planning. We are providing information. Sa controlling and directing naman, nag-a-assist tayo sa managers in this function. So, paano ba natin sila ina-assist? By doing performance evaluations sa mga actions na ginawa natin, sa mga activities. Yan. Comparing it to the planned FS. So, yun. Number 3, motivating managers toward achieving the organization's goals. So, ganun naman, di ba? Parang ginagawa natin lahat yung mga functions in order for us to achieve the goals. So, we are motivating managers now. And we are measuring performance of managers and subunits within the organization. So, hindi lang yung mga departments sa loob ng organization, pati yung performance ng mga managers. We are also responsible in doing performance evaluations. So, kung mapapansin nyo dyan, puro lang tayo bigay ng information, assist, okay? But we are not deciding on the direction of the organization. Okay, so we are not the ones who are doing decision making. Wait lang, class, tumatawag yung prof ko. Wait lang. Mute. Ayan, I'm back. Sorry, tumawag lang yung prof ko sa MBA. Nagpapacheck kasi ako ng thesis. Nag-ayos kasi ako ng thesis. So, yeah. Okay, go. Ay, saan ako? So, yun na nga yung sinabi ko kanina. We are just assisting the management in order for them to make proper decisions. Ayan, but we are not the ones deciding for them. Okay? Now, let's tackle kung meron bang relationship ang financial accounting, cost accounting, and management accounting. Kasi di ba ito pa lang yung mga accounting subjects din na nate-take up ninyo. So, meron bang connection si management accounting at saka si financial accounting, cost accounting, and management accounting? So, for financial accounting, these are used by the external users. Okay, so the accounting information are being used by the external users. While si management accounting naman are for internal users. So they are in different worlds, they are in different circles. Yan. But they will meet, okay, ang common denominator nila is si cost accounting because cost accounting is providing cost information for reporting, managing, and decision making. So basically, ang ginagamit ni financial accounting at management accounting is the information provided by the cost accounting. So, kung paano lang nila ginagamit, dun lang nagkakaiba. So, if they are using the accounting information for the external users, then financial accounting yun. But if they are using the accounting information for the internal users, then that is management accounting. But financial and management accounting have a lot of differences. Okay? So let's enumerate those differences. Halos magkaiba sila. Okay? So for financial accounting, the definition is accounting is an information system that identifies records and communicates the economic events of an organization to interested user. So si interested user dito ay ang mga external users. Okay? While managerial accounting is an accounting system by which information are presented and supplied to management in appropriate manner to operate business smoothly and efficiently. So, ang purpose ni managerial accounting is for us to help the management in order to arrive at the proper decisions and for the business to operate smoothly and efficiently. Yan. So, kagaya ng nasabi ko, users ng financial accounting are external users, while managerial accounting are for managers or for internal users. Ang tanong, si employees, are the employees external users or manager or internal users? Si employees nasa loob ng isang organization, di ba? Ano siya? Ano ang para saan niya ginagamit ang financial statements? Are they internal users or are they external users? Can I see answers in the chat box? Internal or external? Ayan. External. External daw, external. External. Meron bang ibang sagot aside from external? External. Okay. The answer is yes, they are external users because they are using the financial statements in knowing or in assessing if they will be staying in the company, if they will receive bonuses, or if the company can still sustain yung salaries na kailangan nila. Okay, but there are some employees as well that are using the reports for the purpose of preparing budgets, of preparing yung variances. Okay? So, pag ganon ang use nila, then they are considered as internal users. So maybe they are part of management. Okay? So depende. Pero if we are just talking, if tatanungin ka kung are employees external or internal, they are external. Okay? Because ang thinking is they are using the financial information dun sa mga sinabi ko kanina. Verifiability versus relevance. Sino, ayan. Bakit ang unti pa din ng mga nasaan yung iba? 24 pa lang kayo. Well, emphasis on verifiability for financial accounting, meaning they are using the financial information, or they prefer for the financial information to be verifiable rather than relevant. Okay? While for managerial accounting, their emphasis is more on relevance because they are using the information for planning and control. Ayan. While financial accounting, mas prefer nila kung ang pag-uusapan naman natin is precision versus timeliness. So emphasis on precision kapag financial accounting, they want the information to be as accurate as possible. Okay? So kung papipiliin ka kung sa financial accounting kung i-deliver mo ba yung books na may quality kahit na hindi masyadong timely, or i-deliver mo yung books ng timely kahit na hindi pa masyadong maayos. Okay? So pag financial accounting, they prefer accuracy. They prefer it to be precise. Okay? Kahit na mag-intay ng onte, as long as it is accurate. Okay? But in managerial accounting, they prefer timeliness because they are using it for decision making. And normally, those decisions are sometimes urgent. Okay, it is really needed. It's with time constraints. So, mas more on timeliness pag managerial accounting. Subject. So, for financial accounting, the primary focus is on the whole organization. So, ang pine-prepare natin sa financial accounting na mga financial statements is talking about the operations of the whole business. Hindi tayo gumagawa ng financial statements for a certain department or for a certain segment only. While managerial accounting, pwede kasing hindi buo. Pwede kang gumawa ng mga management reports that only involves one department, one segment, one activity. Okay? So, it will depend on management's need. Okay. So, next, are they following GAAP? For financial accounting, of course, they must follow GAAP and all the standards and all the prescribed formats. Okay? Hindi pwedeng hindi tayo nagpa-follow ng GAAP because we are distributing the financial statements also to all the users, to all the external users. And ang accepted sa lahat ay GAAP na standards. While for managerial accounting, because we are only preparing those statements for us internally, hindi naman siya lalabas. So, we don't need to follow GAAP strictly. Okay? Most of the time na hindi talaga nagfo-follow ng GAAP. Okay? Yung formats naman, depende. Hindi strict na kung ito yung sinabi ni standards or ito yung sinabi ni regulatory requirements. Yun na yung susundin mo. You can do your own format depending on the management's needs. Ganyan. And if it is required, okay, so sa financial accounting, it is mandatory for external reports. Kailangan natin siyang magawa at kailangan natin siyang ma-deliver sa external users. Lalo na si government, kay government, di ba? Pag sa managerial accounting naman, it is not mandatory. Okay? So financial accounting versus management accounting. So parang ganito yung sample niyan. Si financial accounting, ang alam natin is gagawa tayo ng financial statements. We will be finalizing our statement of financial position, statement of comprehensive income, kung makakita ka ng actual na FS, you will notice that we are preparing a comparative or a comparison between 2 years yan ng financial statement. So, sa financial accounting, pag-preparein ka ng financial statements for 2 years, so makikita mo lang yung numbers, yan na yun. Okay, yan na yung statements. Siyempre, samahan mo ng disclosures. Yan. But for management accounting, paano ba natin siya ginagawa? Sa management accounting, hindi lang natatapos dyan. Kung meron na tayong report, tinatanong pa natin, magtatanong pa tayo, why did sales decrease from 2020 going to 2021? Yung 600, naging 500 na lang. What factors contributed to the decrease of operating expenses? So, inaalam natin lahat yung mga component at inaalam natin kung efficient ba tayo, kung effective ba, kung dapat ba natin i-continue yung ginagawa natin, dapat bang maitigil tayo ng mga functions, ng mga activities. Okay? Normally, management accounting involves analyzing yung variances. So, di ba, yung mga tanong dito, why did it decrease? Why did it change? Yan. So, inaalam natin why does 2020 net income becomes higher than 2021. Mga ganun. So, normally, we are analyzing the variances kapag dating sa management accounting. Tinitignan natin yung breakdown, ano bang laman, ano bang naging dahilan. Yan. So, hindi lang siya natatapos sa basta numbers. Yan. Marami pang tanong after. Okay? So, dahil doon, gumagawa pa tayo ng mga special na mga statements just to answer or to address these questions. Yan. Para makita natin yung dahilan. Okay? Kasi may need eh. May need na alamin natin para makita natin kung may dapat ba tayong baguhin, may dapat ba tayong tuloy. Ganyan. So, dito makikita mo, nag-prepare pa siya ng breakdown noong 2021 na yon. So, sa financial accounting, doon lang siya humangga. Pero, pagdating sa management accounting, bakit ba? Ayun. So, pag mag-a-analyze ka, pwede mong i-breakdown muna yung sales. So, 200,000, makikita mo si branch A, 250 si branch B, tapos 50 si C. Tapos, i-compare mo sila sa last year. Sino ba yung dahilan kung bakit tumaas, bakit bumaba? Okay? So, you could you could prepare something na hihingi ni based sa hihingi ni manager or ni management. Okay? So, pwede ka mag-decide. Kasi halimbawa, ikaw, tinanong ka ni management, bakit may mga ganito? So, come up ka with your own statements telling the manager na, kasi ganito yung nangyari. Kasi ganito. O yan, dapat mong pag-aralan. Okay? So, you could help them in decision making. However, management accountants should be able to provide both quantitative and qualitative information that will help managers in decision making. So hindi lang tayo basta numbers ang ibibigay natin. Dapat din makapagbigay tayo sa kanila ng qualitative information. Yun nga yung mga explanations, yung mga reasons, yan kung bakit nangyari yun, so on. It is not limited only So it is not limited only to pure accounting information, but decisions can also be made from a variety of sources such as finance, marketing, research, economics, and management science. Okay? So kung makikita mo dito sa picture, so si financial accounting, nandun lang siya sa loob ng kahon kasi yun lang yung hinihingi ni standards. Nakakulong tayo sa GAAP. Yung report na ginagawa natin, nakakulong sa mga standards. While for management accounting, we can think outside the box, meaning pwede tayong gumawa ng mga sarili nating reports as long as it will be useful in decision making. Self-check number 2. Which of the following statements best describes the differences or similarities between financial accounting and management accounting? Okay. Differences daw or similarities. Letter A. Financial accounting provides information primarily for internal users while management accounting provides information primarily for external users. Letter B. Financial accounting provides general purpose reports, while management accounting provides special purpose and specific reports to answer managers' needs of information. While letter C, financial accounting information can also be used by internal users, and management accounting information can also be used by external users. And letter D, reports generated by financial and management accounting is only intended for the use of internal users. Is it letter A, B, C, or D? Can I get your answers? Chat. B, 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 B. Yan. The correct answer is letter B. So si A, bakit mali? Kasi baliktad. Si financial accounting, external. Si management accounting, internal. Si letter C, bakit mali? Okay? Because yung management accounting is not to be used by external users. Yung financial accounting, pwedeng gamitin ni internal users. Yes, tama yung unang statement. But yung pangalawa, management accounting information cannot be used by external users. Letter D, reports generated by financial and management accounting is intended only. Ano, bakit nagkamali? Kasi yung financial accounting ay pwede siya for external users. Okay. Next, so organizational structure and financial information. The most common officers involved in an entity's financial information are. So, ang primary involved sa financial information, we have CEO, yan, we have CEO, Chief Executive Officer. And we have CFO. Si CFO, siya yung pinaka-lead, pinaka-head ng financial department ng company. So, CFO is Chief Financial Officer. So, siya yung nanghihingi ng mga information. Yan, example. Nga, hindi pa nga ako nakakain ng agahan. So, nanghihingi na agad ng information kahit wala pa naman. Yan si CFO daw. And then si CFO could either be the controller or treasurer, or pwedeng meron pa siyang separate na controller at meron pa siyang treasurer. Ano bang pagkakaiba ni controller tsaka ni treasurer? Si controller, siya po yung bahala sa financial information for external users, for internal users. So, for reporting purposes, si controller yan. While si treasurer, nasa cash management siya. Okay? Yun nga, di ba? Pag sa office, sa mga officers, anong ginagawa ni treasurer? Something related to cash management. Siya yung in charge for cash inflows, for cash outflows, di ba? Yan yung ginagawa ni treasurer. So, tayo, as accountants, we could be, someday, we could be a controller of a company. That could be the highest, or the CFO. Highest position that we could attain. Financial management means planning, organizing, directing, and controlling the financial activities such as procurement and utilization of funds of the enterprise. It means applying general management principles to financial resources of the enterprise. Yan. Sorry, nadi-distract ako. Nagme-message kasi yung ano. If you know Dr. Saliman, associate din ng CBAGS. So yan, ito nga yung main functions ng treasurer and ng controller. So si controller muna ang unahin natin. Controller is in charge for all the reports, whether it be accounting, financial reporting, and tax. Okay? So siya yung in charge for the improvement and implementation of different accounting processes. Siya yung in charge for updating of standards. Yan, halimbawa may update sa standards, kailangan i-implement natin, ganyan. Okay, so next is financial reporting. So siya rin yung bahala. Siya yung bahalang in charge sa pag-prepare ng financial statements. Ayan, and deliver it to the external users. So pati na rin yung management accounting. Siya rin yung in charge for planning and control. Internal audit and control, even the tax administration. Kahit controller din yun. Statutory and government reporting and managerial accounting. While for treasurer, and this is management of cash and marketable securities. Also planning of capital structure and raising capital. So most likely, si treasurer ay in charge for cash management and capital structure. So provision of capital, maintaining relationship with banks, cash and receivables management, protect funds and securities, and maintain investor relations. So something related about cash. Which of the following functions is more expected to a treasurer than a controller? So, ano daw sa mga functions niyan ang most likely gawin ni controller kaysa kay expected to a treasurer kaysa kay controller. So, ano dyan ang ginagawa ni treasurer? As simple as that. Is it letter A, tax planning and administration? Letter B, cash and receivables management. Letter C, cash and receivables reporting. Or letter D, statutory and government reporting. A, B, C, or D. Ayan, letter B. Okay. So, letter B is the correct answer, cash and receivables management. If you will notice, letter B and letter C, baka malito kayo ha. Cash and receivables management, C, treasurer, management, not reporting. So all about reporting, C, controller yun. Professional ethics for management accountants. An entity has a goal of adding value to the entity and maximize shareholders' wealth. However, with this in mind, all activities an entity does should be subjected to ethical considerations. Of course, we must always internally, yan, ang minimum na natin kung gagawa tayo ng management reports, kung hindi man tayo mag-follow ng standards, we must always follow ethical considerations. Everything that we do, kahit internally yan, we should always consider those ethical considerations. The Sarbanes-Oxley Act of 2002. Are you familiar with Sarbanes-Oxley Act? Yan, very popular to, di ba? Sa ating mga accountants. Parang onti lang yung makakarinig or hindi pa nakarinig ng Sarbanes-Oxley Act. Can I get a hand kung sino ba yung mga nakarinig na ng Sarbanes-Oxley Act? Wala pa? Oh. Sarbanes-Oxley Act of 2002 is a law the U.S. Congress passed on July 30 of that year to help protect investors from fraudulent financial reporting by corporations. It came in response to financial scandals in the early 2000s involving publicly traded companies. The high-profile frauds shook investor confidence in the trustworthiness of corporate financial statements and led many to demand an overhaul of decades-old regulatory standards. So, si Sarbanes-Oxley Act is to protect, basically this is to protect the investors from fraudulent financial reporting. Way back 2000 kasi, there is a large company, if I remember it correctly, it's Enron. So, yung large corporation na yon, they are involved in money laundering acts. So, pinapaikot nila yung reporting, okay, as if meron pang enough cash or meron pang enough funds si company. Where in fact, in reality, wala na talaga yung funds na yun because those money are being transferred to different people or to different parties. Yan. So nagulat na lang sila. Wala na palang fund yung company. Okay? Kaya na tinatag yung Sarbanes-Oxley Act of 2002. Isa siya sa pinakamalaking skandal nung panahon na yun. Okay? Nagumulat sa maraming accountants, sa maraming investors. Na pwede palang mangyari yun. Ang galing nila doon. Okay? Management accountants are expected to have ethical conduct. Always naman. Dapat we always have that ethical conduct. And ano ba yung mga professional ethics na sinusunod natin dyan? Management accountants must maintain integrity and ethical behavior and must make the top management aware of any unethical behavior done by the people within the organization. So, integrity meaning we are not easily persuaded. Okay? Meron tayong sinusunod na mga prinsipyo. And if ever we notice something unethical, okay, we always we always notify the management or the people within the organization. A management accountant shall promote and encourage ethical behavior in all aspects of business and professional life. Okay. So standards of ethical conduct for management accountants, we have competence, confidentiality, integrity, and objectivity. So I will leave it to your readings, to mga different descriptions under that. Also, pag-aaralan nyo rin naman yan sa inyong audit theory. Self-check number 4, ito na lang, na kahit ako na lang sumagot. Yun, a management accountant refuse a gift or memento in the course of her work to avoid potential conflicts of interest. So, dito pa lang, may tinanggihan na siya. Kahit tinanggihan niya yung gift na inaalok sa kanya. Okay? Bakit niya tinanggihan? Because of potential conflicts of interest. Para mapangalagaan niya yung anong klaseng ethical conduct. So, yun yung unang statement. Second statement, Daeyoon also ensures that she is up to date on current trends in the industry and on new emerging management practices. So, si Daeyoon din daw, every time, from time to time, she is always updating herself para mas mag-improve, okay? Para alamin yung mga bago. Okay, so ano daw yung ethical conduct na pinapatunayan dito ni Daeyoon? So for the first statement, Daeyoon is practicing integrity. Yun, hindi siya nagpapatalo sa kahit na anong bribe, okay? Or anything that will affect or that may bring conflicts of interest. And for the second part, Daeyoon is maintaining her competence. Yan. So, para magpatuloy siyang maging relevant, okay, para yung knowledge niya is mag-improve, okay, para ma-refresh. So, consistent siyang nag-check ng mga trends sa industry and new emerging management practices. Management or accounting information systems. A system that provides past, present, and projected information that is timely and relevant to be able to be used as a tool for decision making. So, management accounting system, yan, kung mapapansin nyo, ang ginagawa nila is past, present, and projected information. Okay, so sama yung ginagamit yung past information including the present in order for us to make a projected information. Okay, and basically, ang lahat ng ito is a tool for decision making. Ulit. It is a system that captures data from operations within the firm and organizes them into information relevant to managerial decision making. So depending then on management teams. Ano ba yung kailangan, ano ba yung hinihingi ni management? So involved dyan ay yung management information systems. I think you will have a separate subject ng accounting information system. Yan. I think third year or fourth year. Yeah. It also provides a way for managers to generate information they needed. The design of a management accounting system should fit within the operations of the entity and conform with the characteristics of the firm, the legal nature, the organizational structure, and the organizational culture and specific processes. So, ibig sabihin nito, yung accounting information system daw ay naka-tailor fit sa nature ng operations. Okay? Sa lahat ng characteristics ng isang operations. Hindi siya standard into all the companies. Okay? Kasi pag yung financial reporting natin, 'di ba? Halos pare-pareho yung system natin kahit na anong companies, kahit na anong nature. Okay? Na sa yung paraan natin ng pag-compute ng net income, yung paraan natin ng pag-compute ng total assets, ng total liabilities, it is standard. But for management information systems, it should fit within the nature and the characteristics of the organization or the firm. Elements of a management accounting system. So we have motivational elements, performance measures, reward structure, support of organizational mission and competitive strategy. So, meron to, yung management accounting system, hindi to hindi to parang isang software. Baka maisip nyo because of the word system, baka naisip nyo yung mga software na ginagamit natin sa accounting, hindi siya ganun ha. Okay? So ano-ano yung mga factors or mga elements that would comprise management accounting system. So ito yon. So we have motivational elements, informational elements, information related to budgeting, cost control, value-added and non-value-added activities, assessment of core competencies, and analysis of make or outsource and other decisions. And we have reporting elements, preparation of financial statements and other reports for financial accounting and management accounting purposes. Yan. Yun. So, hanggang doon na lang yung ating chapter 1. If you want, wag na, ituloy muna natin. Tsaka na lang tayo mag-break mamaya-maya. Okay, so for our next topic, chapter 2, we'll talk about cost concepts and cost behavior. So, kung magbubukas ng aking PowerPoint, makikita natin siya. Ito siya. Okay? Ayan, nasaan ang aking... Nakikita niyo yung PowerPoint? Gumagalaw ba siya? Okay. So, for the next chapter, we will talk about cost terms, concepts, and behavior. So, basically, yung mga i-discuss natin dito, I know that you've discussed it already in your cost accounting. So, dito, sa pagdi-discuss ko ng topic na to, I will assume that you already have a background, you already have an idea of our next topics. Okay? So first, for our basic cost accounting concepts. Yan. So define muna natin yung mga definition na kadalasan nagko-cause ng confusion to other students or to other users. Yan. Ano ba yung difference ng tatlo? We have cost, expense, and loss. So si cost is the amount measured in money of cash expended or other property transferred, capital stock issued, services performed, or a liability incurred in consideration of goods or services received or to be received. So si cost ay yung amount ng cash expended. So, yung mga nilabas natin na cash, yung mga tinransfer natin na property, yung mga inisyo natin na capital stock, yun yung cost. Okay? Kailan nagiging expense yung cost? Nagiging expense yung cost kapag expired na yung cost. Okay? So, bakit sir, meron bang cost na hindi pa expired? Meron. Tama? Ano yung mga cost na hindi pa expired? Yung mga prepaid. Okay? We already have cash expended and pero hindi pa natin nagagamit yung portion ng nasa balance sheet. Okay? That's why, ang pinagkaiba ni cost and expense is cost comprises of those expired and unexpired. Okay? While expenses are all those expired costs only. And if that will become an expense, it will be now deductible from your revenues. And it will be presented in your statement of comprehensive income. Tama? But if that cost is still unexpired, we will not deduct it yet from the revenues. Saan pa siya ipapakita? Sa statement of financial position. Okay? While the loss is the excess of expenses over revenues. Okay? So si loss, yan, medyo malayo na si loss. Si loss, makikita natin yan sa dulo, di ba? Makikita natin yan kapag may binawas ka na. So, if ang expenses mo mas malaki than your revenue, you will consider it as a loss. Okay? It is also the excess of all or the appropriate portion of the cost of assets over related proceeds, if any, when the items are sold, abandoned, or either wholly or partially destroyed by casualty or otherwise written off. So, loss could also be tawag dito, yung pagkawala, pag-depreciate ng asset, pag-exhaust, pag-abandon, pagbenta, right? Kung sakaling hindi natin na-meet yung recorded natin na amount sa balance sheet, then we will consider that as loss. Normally, di ba, kapag halimbawa, we have a net carrying amount of 5 million sa PPE natin, and then we sold it 4.5 million. Tama? Mas maliit yung selling price natin kaysa doon sa cost ng assets natin or yung nakalagay na carrying amount sa balance sheet natin, doon nagkakaroon ng loss. Okay? Sana malinaw po tayo dyan. Next. Okay. Ito naman, yung differences ng tatlo. We have cost object, cost accumulation, and cost assignment. So, cost object is anything from which a separate measurement of cost is decided. So, when we say cost object, ito yung ginagamit natin na tool or way in order for us to measure the cost. Okay, kung paano natin siya gustong i-measure. While si cost accumulation is the collection of cost data. Okay, from the word itself, cost accumulation. So, kinukuha natin lahat ng cost data and we will organize it, okay, through an accounting system. So, si cost accumulation, data collection pa lang yan ng cost for us to use it, okay, and to make it organized using an accounting system. Okay? Si cost assignment naman, si cost assignment po is a general term that encompasses both tracing accumulated cost to a cost object and allocating accumulated cost to a cost object. So, dalawa yung cost assignment natin. It involves tracing and allocating. Okay? Pag cost assignment. Cost tracing. Ano ba yung cost tracing? Cost tracing is either letter A, the assignment of direct cost to the chosen cost object. Letter B, a function of cost allocation. Letter C, the process of tracking both direct and indirect costs associated with a cost object. Or letter D, the process of determining the actual cost of the cost object. Can I have an answer? Yan. Based on your preview or your stock knowledge, what do you think is cost tracing? Letter A, B, C, or D? Answers? Sige. Okay lang, kahit manghula. A, B, C, or D ba? Walang masama kung magsasagot kayo, class. Balik natin pala. Cost tracing is the assignment of direct costs to the chosen cost object. Letter B, a function of cost allocation. Letter D, the process of tracking both direct and indirect costs associated with a cost object. Or letter D, the process of determining the actual cost of the cost object. Sige, answers. Letter C, letter C, letter C. Letter C ba? Meron bang ibang sagot? Baka yung iba gumagaya na lang. Bakit letter C ang sagot? Kasi mahaba? Letter C kasi yun yung pinakamahaba. Pag hindi natin alam, no, yun na lang yung pinakamahaba na lang. Letter C ba ang sagot? The correct answer is letter A. Okay? Because cost tracing only involves assignment of direct cost. Okay? Yun yung cost tracing. It only involves the assignment of direct cost. Kung mapapansin natin dito kanina, yan. Tracing accumulated cost to a cost object. This is cost tracing. This involves direct cost. While allocating accumulated cost to a cost object, these are indirect costs for indirect costs. So, yun nga yung kaya nga siya tracing eh. Yun trace natin because it is direct cost related to a cost object. Okay, letter A. Next, classification of costs. So we have different classification of costs according to these factors. First, we have time of charges against revenue. Kailan ba siya charge against revenue? Okay, so we have two types of costs according to this. We have product cost and we have period cost. So, si product cost, alam nyo na to, si product cost, yung total manufacturing cost. Diba? Sila DM, direct material, direct labor, and overhead. Siguro naman familiar kayo dyan. Sino pang nakakaalala ng tatlong yan? Raise your hand. Ko lang makita. Sinong familiar din sa tatlo? Ayan. Madami-dami naman. Nakakaalala. Diba, pinag-compute pa kayo yan, yung pagkahaba-haba, yung computation ng total manufacturing cost hanggang makarating kayo ng cost of goods sold. Naalala nyo ba yun sa cost accounting? Yung magsisimula sa raw materials, beginning. Diba? Tapos, ipa-plus nyo yung raw materials purchase. Diba? Yung sobrang pagkahaba-haba nun, sana naman naalala nyo yun mga kaibigan. Kasi gagamitin nyo po yan hanggang sa board exam. Okay? Hanggang pag nagtatrabaho na kayo. Yun yung product cost. So, those are costs that are used in order for us to create the product. Okay? While for the period costs, involves those general administrative expenses, selling and marketing expenses. Bakit siya tinawag na product at bakit siya tinawag na period? From the word itself. Kailan natin charge yung mga cost na to sa revenue? Kapag period, charge natin siya as incurred. So, kapag na-incur na natin yung mga expenses na yan, yung mga general administrative expense, nilalagay na agad natin yan sa income statement. Tama ba? While for product, charge na ba natin siya agad sa revenue if we incurred those product costs? Ang sagot, hindi. Kasi kung oo, period na din yun, di ba? So, kapag product cost, ang tinutukoy natin dito, or charge natin siya sa revenue, when it is, or when the product is sold. Tama? Kaya nga tayo merong cost of goods sold. Kaya nga dun sa computation nyo, dun sa cost accounting, maaabot nyo yung hanggang cost of goods sold. Because yung cost of goods sold lang yung i-charge against revenue. So once na sold, doon lang siya i-minus sa revenue. Pero kapag hindi pa siya sold, saan ba siya mapupunta? Yung product cost. Ipe-present na ba yan sa income statement? Sagot, hindi. Tama? Saan siya mapupunta? Sa inventory. So, nasa balance sheet pa siya or nasa statement of financial position. Ease of traceability. So we have direct and we have indirect. So familiar na kayo dyan, direct cost and indirect cost. Pero later, meron pang discussion about that. According to management function, so for manufacturing, applied to producing a product. So ito yung inyong total manufacturing cost. Alam nyo na yan, yung DM, DL, at OH. Also, we have marketing. So these are costs in selling the product. Sila yung mga sales agent, sila yung mga advertising expenses, promotional materials, yan yung mga marketing expenses. Letter C, administrative. These are cost in policy-making activities. Anong mga normally involved dyan? Payo, yung mga pasahod sa mga accountants, yung mga ginagamit sa office. Tama? Those are administrative expenses. And letter D, financial. These are costs related to financial activities. Okay? Kaya pag pinresent yan sa balance sheet din, it's according to function. Sa balance sheet. Sa income statement. Tama? Kapag ka sa income statement, nakapresent din yung mga expenses or cost according to its function. Diba yung una sa income statement, meron kayo revenue. Tapos less cost of goods sold. Si cost of goods sold, yun yung marketing, manufacturing. Tapos, revenue minus, dali na, mag-open ako ng Excel. Para naman meron tayo. Para naman yung sinasabi ko, nai-imagine nyo din. Excel. So, siguro naman, alam nyo na kung paano mag-compute ng or paano mag-prepare ng income statement, mga kaibigan. So, we have revenue. Tapos, COGS. Revenue minus COGS is gross profit. So, ito, this is your manufacturing function. Tapos, si gross profit, meron dyang OPEX. Tama? Si OPEX nyo, nandito si marketing and si administrative. Tama? Then, you will have EBIT. So, GP minus OPEX is your EBIT. Earnings before interest and taxes. Minus interest. Si interest, these are the costs according to function or financial function. Okay? And then, EBIT minus interest is earnings before taxes. Minus taxes, you will get net income or loss. Okay? So, basically, sa income statement natin, the costs are being classified or presented according to the management function. Okay? So, cost classifications for preparing financial statements. So, product costs include direct materials, direct labor, and manufacturing overhead. So, siguro, alam niyo naman na si product cost. Okay, kanina pa natin paulit-ulit na pinag-uusapan, si DM, si DL, tsaka si manufacturing overhead. Okay? Ano nga tawag sa DM plus DL? Lahat ng direct. Anong tawag doon? Chat. DM plus DL is? Anong klaseng cost yun? Sige, anyone. Prime cost. Okay, that's correct. From the word itself, prime, because those are the direct cost. Okay? So, yun yung, basically, yun yung may involvement doon sa product mo mismo. While, si DL, tsaka si manufacturing overhead, sila naman yung, anong tawag sa kanila? Conversion cost. Okay? So, DL and manufacturing overhead comprise of conversion cost. So, they are in charge in converting the raw materials into finished product. Kaya sila tinawag na conversion cost. So, yun yung mga magagamit mo pag i-convert mo na si raw material into finished product. Okay? So, product costs are being classified either in inventory or in cost of goods sold. So, the classification will depend if sale happened. Okay? So, kapag nabenta na yung product natin, yung mga ginamit natin sa product cost, we will classify it as cost of goods sold and it will be presented in your income statement. If it is still unsold, okay, nasa inventory pa, pupunta muna siya sa balance sheet. So, we have raw materials inventory, we have work in process inventory, and we have finished goods inventory. Okay? Kung paano nakukuha yung mga yon, alam nyo na siguro. Tama? Meron bang makakapag-recite ng simula din sa raw materials beginning hanggang sa cost of goods sold? Yung mga tawag. Naaalala nyo pa ba yun, mga kaibigan? Anyone? Matapang na pwedeng sumagot? Magsimula sa raw materials beginning. Tama? Tapos, raw materials purchase. Anong tawag sa raw materials beginning plus raw materials purchase? Raw materials beginning plus raw materials purchase.
Raw materials available for use po.
Raw materials available for use. Raw materials available for use minus raw materials end is
Raw materials issued.
Issued or used. Okay. Then this raw materials used plus direct labor plus manufacturing overhead is your
Total manufacturing cost.
your TMC. Okay? Your TMC plus your work in process beginning is
Costs of work put into process.
cost of goods put into process. Okay? So, ilagay mo na sila sa process of conversion. Okay? Tapos, merong matitira na work in process. May hindi magagawa. Ano ang tawag? Cost of goods put into process. Cost of goods manufactured muna. So, cost of goods manufactured. So, kasi 'di ba, ito na yung nilagay mo sa production. Pwede mo yang i-analyze. So, ito na yung total manufacturing cost, meaning yung dinagdag mo doon sa production. Tapos nung pagdadagdag mo niyan, meron pang naabutan na ginagawa pa lang. So, inad mo siya dun sa ginagawa pa lang, yun na yung lahat ng ginagawa na nasa process, nasa production. Okay? Tapos, nagkaroon ka ng cut-off kasi kailangan mo mag-present. Okay? So, may mga hindi natapos, kaya mayroong natira na work in process inventory. Okay? And then, pag tinanggal mo yung mga natira, ibig sabihin, nagawa na lahat yung nabawas. Tama? Kasi nilagay mo sa production. Tapos, nagawa na lahat. Ang tawag doon, cost of goods manufactured. Okay? Tsaka pa lang magkakaroon ng cost of goods available for sale kapag may in-add tayo. Ano yung i-add natin?
Finished goods beginning.
Finished goods beginning. So, yung mga nagawa natin for this period plus yung natira last period, that will be your cost of goods available for sale. And then, finished goods end minus finished goods end, that will be your cost of goods
Sold.
sold. Okay? So, this cost of goods sold will now be presented in your income statement. Okay? Sana po naaalala niyo yan, ha? Huwag niyo kakalimutan yung mahabang yan. Okay? And you have period cost. So, si period cost naman, this include all selling costs and administrative costs. So, lahat ng ginamit for that certain period, lahat ng incurred na expenses for that certain period when you are presenting your income statement. Okay? Classification of manufacturing cost. So, manufacturing cost, kagaya ng inano natin kanina, we have direct materials. Remember that these direct materials are those that are used. Okay? So, yun ang ina-add para makuha natin ang total manufacturing cost. Now, what is direct materials? Direct materials are those materials that have yung may significant cost. Yung cost noong part, yung cost ng materials na yon is a significant part of the product cost. Okay, so yun yung direct materials. Halimbawa, if we have table, ano yung mga direct materials sa table? Yung wood na ginamit, yung paint, yung pang-paint, tama? Ano pa? How about the nails na ginamit, yung mga glue, wood glue? Are those direct materials? Yan.
Indirect materials po, sir.
Indirect na. Indirect na siya because insignificant na yung amount. Okay? So, that is direct materials. Familiar pa naman pala, ano? At least. Next, we have direct labor. So, direct labor, those that are involved in the production of your goods. Okay? So, normally, these are your factory workers, your factory supervisor, the employees are the people working in your factory. Pero, hindi lahat ng nagtatrabaho sa factory. Okay? Baka naman mamaya, mayroong sabihin sa inyo na accountant na nasa factory. Ano? Tapos direct labor na. Okay? Nagpunta lang sa factory yung accountant, direct labor na ba? Siyempre hindi. Tama? So, yung involved lang sa paggawa ng product. Okay? So, lahat ng hindi part ng paggawa ng product, pero kailangan natin siyang i-incur para magawa yung product natin. Papasok na siya lahat sa manufacturing overhead. So, si manufacturing overhead, meron tayo dyang 5. Okay? Meron tayong 5 pwedeng classification na pwede nating tandaan na manufacturing overhead yan. We have TIRUD. Familiar kayo sa TIRUD? Asang kamay? Sinong familiar sa TIRUD? Wala. Baka ngayon nila narinig yun. So, first we have taxes. Taxes for those to be paid sa mga properties na involved in our manufacturing, in our production process. Yan. Yung property taxes ng factory area natin. Yan. I is for insurance. Yan. Insurance na binayad natin that will be used for the production. Okay? R is for rent. Rent ng alin? Ng mga ginamit nating equipment sa production. Rent ng factory natin. Okay? Or R also is for repairs and maintenance. So, repairs and maintenance ng lahat ng kasali sa production. Okay? So, repairs and maintenance ng equipment natin sa factory. U is for utilities. So basically, our utilities are manufacturing overhead. Sila ilaw, okay? Sila tubig, yan. And other utilities expense. D is for depreciation. Depreciation of our factory equipments. Remember factory, ha? So, kapag related na siya sa office, nasa general administrative na siya. Okay? So, magkakatalo pa rin sa function. So, yan. Pwede niyong tandaan si TIRUD. Assigning cost to cost objects. So, we have direct cost and indirect cost. What is the difference between the two? Direct costs are costs that can be easily and conveniently traced and convened to a unit of product or other cost object. So, ito daw yung madali mong makikita. Okay? Madali mong ma-identify na cost kapag nalaman mo kung ano yung product. Okay? Makita mo lang yung product, alam mo na direct cost siya. Okay? Direct cost are direct materials and direct labor. Therefore, overhead are indirect cost. Indirect costs are costs that cannot be easily and conveniently traced to a unit of product or other cost object. Basically, the opposite of the direct cost. Okay? Common cost. Common costs are indirect costs incurred to support a number of cost objects. This cost cannot be traced to any individual cost object. Yan. Common costs also are indirect costs. Non-manufacturing cost. Okay? Ito na yung nasa kasunod na line sa income statement. Yung mga selling and administrative costs. Selling costs are costs necessary to secure the order. Okay? So, selling costs, magsisimula yan. Involved dito, hindi lang, kasi baka maisip mo from the word selling cost, baka maisip mo lang yung nagbebenta. Okay? Yun lang ang part ng selling cost. Pero involved din sa selling cost yung mga fees ng product palabas from our warehouse until the product is to be delivered doon sa seller. Depende na lang din kung anong FOB. Okay? Administrative costs are all executive, organizational, and clerical costs. Administrative costs can be either direct or indirect costs as well. Okay? Siguro naman familiar na kayo dyan. Okay? Tayong mga accountants, saan tayo? Salary natin, we are in the administrative cost. Quick check. Which of the following costs would be considered a period cost rather than a product cost in a manufacturing company? So, sino daw sa mga yan ang period kesa product? Letter A, manufacturing equipment depreciation. Letter B, property taxes on corporate headquarters. Letter C, direct materials cost. Letter D, electrical costs to light the production facility. And letter E, we have sales commission. Give me your meron na ba? May mga sumasagot na ba? Ba't hindi na tumutunog sa akin? A, B, C, D, or E. Wala pang sumasagot. Sige, ina-analyze pa, sir. Sige, analyze. Letter E, may mga sumasagot. Letter E. Yung iba nagkagaya na lang, oh. Letter E lang, letter E, ha? Bakit may mga nauna ng letter E? Ano, may iba pa ba sagot aside from letter E? Ibang sagot aside sa letter E? Sige nga. Pwede bang mag-unmute kung meron bang nakakaisip ng ibang sagot aside from letter E? Letter B. Letter B. Andrea, why did you say letter B? Sige nga. Andrea, are you there?
Hello po, sir.
Hello. Sige. Bakit letter B?
Kasi po, hindi naman po siya tax ng factory po mismo.
Correct.
Bale.
Sige, go. Bale.
Ayun lang po, sir.
Ayun lang. So, letter B, correct ang letter B. Ang letter E ba tama? Marami sumagot ng letter E. Correct ba yung letter E? Sales commission is the period
Hello po, sir.
Yes, Paolo.
Actually po, dun sa pamimilian, I'm super torn with between B or E. Kasi nga po,
Uh-huh.
ayan, like Andrea said, sa letter B, hindi siya cost directly attributable for the factory itself. And then sa E naman po, sales commission. So, pwede po siyang pumasok sa selling expenses, which is under the period costs.
Tama naman, Paolo, because the answer is letter B and letter E. Okay? Dalawa. So, hindi natin kailangan ng maging torn. Kasi alam naman natin that letter B and letter E are period cost. Okay? So, sometimes the question will just trick you. Ano ba, sino ba pipiliin ko sa dalawa? Yun pala. Pero alam naman natin di ba, na letter B and letter E. So, kaya ko kayo china-challenge kanina. Letter E lang ba? Letter E ba yung sagot? Meron pa bang ibang sagot? Okay, because we have two answers here. For period cost, alam natin na si letter B and si letter E. So, tama yung sinabi ni Andrea because yung property taxes na to is not naman for factory. Okay, or for the product or used for production. Because those are property taxes for corporate headquarters. Kahit na ba nandun siya sa TIRUD, yung taxes, property. Pero hindi naman kasi siya related sa production. Okay? Corporate headquarters yung binayad. So, hindi siya product cost. Rather, it is a period cost. Sales commission, tama din si Paolo, na it is selling expenses. Part of selling expenses. So, dalawa sila. Manufacturing equipment depreciation, bakit siya product? Okay? Kasi manufacturing equipment. Tama? Nasa letter D siya nung TIRUD. C, direct materials cost. Of course. Tama? Of course, that is product. Letter D, electrical cost to light the production facility. Utilities, nasa TIRUD. Because, part siya because it is used in the production facility. Pero, magiging period to kung hindi na siya sa production facility. Okay? Sorry na, nalito ko kayo. Pag dito, siguro pag for the purpose of discussion, baka may mga ganun, may mga dalawang sagot, no? But siguro sa exam, hindi naman siguro yan mangyayari. So pag may mga ganun na feeling natin, gusto nating i-challenge yung question, sabihan nyo ko. Okay? Para kung sakali na may kunwari, halimbawa dumating yung exam, tapos di ba, choose the correct answer. Pero sa board exam class, minsan nangyayari yan. Minsan nangyayari yan, yung parang feeling nyo dalawa yung correct answers. But you will choose the best. Kaya yung iba nga, parang yung iba parang, dito, ang nilalagay nila sa instruction is choose the best answer, not the correct answer. May mga ganong pagkakataon eh. Kaya minsan nakakalito rin talaga. But for the purpose of departmental exam, kasi sa board exam, di naman na natin siya, di na tayo makapagreklamo di ba? Kung ano yung lumabas sa sagot from the BOA, yun na yan. But here, sa atin, marereklamo pa naman natin. So pag dumating yung pagkakataon na may mga ganon during your departmental exam, sabihan nyo lang ako. Okay? Of course, we could consider kung tama naman talaga yung naiisip natin. It's 5:53. Sige, tuloy muna natin. So, classification of costs according to the degree of averaging. So, we have total versus unit. Siguro naman familiar kayo sa total cost versus the unit cost. Okay? Huwag niyong pagpapalitin yung dalawa. Okay? Unit cost is being multiplied to the level of activity for you to get the total cost. Okay? Time when computed. So, we have historical versus predicted. Anong pagkakaiba ng historical at predicted? Kailan kino-compute ang historical? Or ano ang basis pag historical? Yung mga sa past, di ba? Ang time na involved yan ay past. Predicted ay future. Relation to product, we have prime versus conversion. Si prime, DM plus DL. Conversion is DL plus manufacturing overhead. Behavior in relation to fluctuations in volume or activity or level of production, we have variable, we have fixed, and mixed. So, dyan iikot yung mga susunod natin na topics. Okay? Prime cost and conversion cost. So alam na natin, direct material and direct labor, those are your prime. And direct labor and manufacturing overhead are your conversion cost. Cost classifications for predicting cost behavior. So cost behavior refers to how a cost will react to changes in the level of activity. Kaya siya tinawag na cost classification according to behavior because it will vary, okay, on its reaction, okay, pagdating sa pagbabago ng level of activity. Kapag ba madami ang binenta, magbabago ba ang cost na ito? Okay? Susunod ba siya doon sa pagdami ng activity or hindi siya susunod? Okay? Ano ang magiging reaction niya towards the changes in level of activity? The most common classifications are variable cost, fixed cost, and mixed cost. Can I get someone? Yan. Can I have someone who can explain what is variable cost? Yan. Sino ba ang variable cost? Alam ko na. Magtatawag ba ako? Yan. Familiar naman ba tayo lahat sa variable cost? Oh. Ayan, si Paolo. Oh, iba naman, Paolo. Alam ko, alam mo na yan. Sige, John Matthew.
Good evening, sir. Ano po ulit yung question, sir? Variable cost lang po ba?
Yes, variable cost muna.
So, yung variable cost po, sir, based on sa pagkakaalala ko po sa cost accounting subject namin, variable cost is the cost that varies proportionately to the number of units produced, sir.
Correct. So, from the word itself, variable, it varies. Okay? So, ibig sabihin, kapag nagbabago ang level of activity, nagbabago din yung variable cost. Pero anong variable cost? Is it yung total or the per unit? Anong variable cost yung nagbabago? Wala. Sige, Andrea. The total variable cost. So, ang nagbabago according to the level of activities, the total variable cost. While the per unit is
Constant po, sir, or fixed?
Hala, nakalimutan. Constant. Okay? So, the variable cost per unit is constant while the total variable cost varies according to the changes in the level of activity. Okay? While fixed cost is, sino naman makakapag-identify ng fixed cost? Ayan. Reynaldo.
Fixed cost po yung cost sa production na hindi nagbabago kahit anong level of activity, pero nagbabago yung per unit cost niya depende sa level of activity.
Correct. So, ibig sabihin, kaya siya tinawag na fixed cost, kahit ano pang level of activity, hindi na siya magbabago. Okay? But yung per unit, magbabago depende sa level of activity. While mixed cost is a combination of both. The mixed cost has a variable component and fixed component. Okay? Variable cost, yan nga, kagaya ng sinabi ni John Matthew, a cost that varies in total in direct proportion to changes in the level of activity. For example, the texting bill kung ikaw ay naka-prepaid. Tama? So, your total texting bill may be based on how many texts you send. So, we have the x-axis, the number of texts sent. So, sa kada isang text na sinesend mo, tumataas yung total texting bill. Okay? Saan minumultiply yung number of text sent? Doon sa cost ng text. Okay? So, ang line, pag dinrawing niyo yung line ni variable cost, pataas. Okay, nakaslant. Diagonal. While the variable cost per unit naman, it is constant. So kahit ilan pang isend mo na messages or text, constant ang variable cost per unit. Diretso lang siya. Okay? So bakit nandito nagsimula? Kasi hindi siya magsa-start sa 0 kasi may cost na per text. The activity base or the cost driver, a measure of what causes the incurrence of a variable cost. So there are different cost drivers depending then on the nature of the company. The cost driver could be the units produced kung manufacturing company. It could be machine hours, labor hours, kung machine intensive, or labor hours kung labor intensive yung production. Or it could be pagdating sa mga delivery company, yung mga miles driven. Ilang miles per hour, mga ganyan. Okay. While fixed cost, ito naman, baliktad yung line nila. Pag total fixed cost, diretso lang siya. A cost that remains constant in total regardless of changes in the level of activity. Your monthly contract fee for your cell phone may be fixed for the number of monthly minutes in your contract. Ito naman, pag yung mga postpaid, di ba? Yung subscription natin monthly. So, kadalasan, kung hindi lalagpas doon, so within the relevant range, kung hindi lalagpas doon sa limit natin, kahit ilan pang text or ilang minutes of calls ang magamit natin, fixed pa rin ang total fee na babayaran natin. While yung fixed cost per unit naman, magbabago siya. So, dahil yun yung total fee, kung mas mababa ang fixed. So, yung total fixed cost mo, hindi siya magbabago. Yung fixed cost per unit mo, magbabago siya depending on the level of activity. So, ano ang movement or ano ang relationship ng fixed cost per unit sa level of activity? Okay. Pag ba tumaas ang level of activity, tataas din ba ang fixed cost per unit? The answer is no. It has an inverse relationship. So pag tumaas ang level of activity, ang fixed cost per unit, bababa. Okay? So types of fixed costs, we have committed costs and we have discretionary costs. Committed costs are long-term costs that cannot be significantly reduced in the short term. So si committed costs, pang matagalan to, hindi to basta-basta. Pag gusto lang natin pababain, ay mapapababa natin siya. Okay? So, hindi natin siya basta ma-change. That's committed cost. The best examples of that are depreciation and real estate taxes. While discretionary may be altered in the short term by current managerial decision. So, we could change it, we could opt not to take it or not to incur it, depending on managerial decisions. So, those are advertising, expenses, research and development. Mabubuhay tayo kahit wala yan. Or in the short term, pwede natin siyang hindi gamitin. But, okay, pag tinanong kayo, can we eliminate discretionary? Pwede. But for some companies, they opt to incur this kind of expenses because it has benefits. Like for example, advertising. Okay? Ginagawa natin yan or ini-incur natin yan kaya continuous pa rin tayo nag-incur kahit na it is based on our decision or on our choice because it brought sales. It will bring sales to the company. Okay? While the research and development is for innovation, para hindi tayo mahuli sa mga competitors. Okay? Just like what happened to Nokia, di ba? Previously, nabanggit ko na yan. Nung last topic natin, nangyari kay Nokia, yung na-outshine sila ng mga competitors nila. Sila Apple, sila Samsung, yan. Hanggang ngayon, they are leading the market dahil continuous ang research and development nila. Biruin nyo, kakabili mo lang ng iPhone 12, magkakaroon na naman ng iPhone 13. Okay? So, continuous ang research and development nila. And most of the companies, they are investing or they are creating team which is solely, ang function niya is for research and development because a company could really benefit by incurring these expenses. So, hindi rin siya ganun kadaling i-give up. Okay? Ano na to? Tuloy na lang natin after the break. 6:05 na pala. So, let's have break first for 15 minutes. Balik tayo ng 6:20. Mapapause ba yung recording? Or i-dismiss ko lang siya? Pag dismiss ko ba siya, masa-stop na siya. Tapos pag nag-record ako, bago ng video,
Mag-stop po siya, sir.
pag dinismiss ko. So, anong gagawin ko? Para hindi makuha yung time na nag-break tayo. Wala, sa-stop ko lang talaga siya. No? Stop ko lang siya, ganun.
Opo, sir. And then mag-start na po ulit ng bagong video mamaya. Recording.
So dalawang video, na?
Opo.
O, sige. Ganun na lang. Okay,